Put yourself in the situation. In a party of legendary fighters, you're a healer.
Already a nightmare.
You're a healer. In the middle of the night, in a dark forest, you're about to fight this demonic creature. But the rest of the people on your team, one by one, start falling asleep. And before you know it, you're alone. And suddenly, it attacks. You don't know what to do. You're not built for this. Despite being the support class, you've got no support. You're fighting. You're trying your best, but nothing you do is enough. It's only a matter of time before it gets you. But wait, you could try to wake up your teammates, but they're only going to be awake for 5 seconds. 5 seconds? What can you really do with that time? 5 seconds? You still have to explain to them what's going on. 5 seconds? No one can do anything substantial in such a short 5 seconds. Screw it. You wake one of them up, and as you're fighting for your life, you start to explain that despite your desperate efforts amounting to nothing, in just one single move, you're saved. When you think of someone that could kick your ass, you probably have a certain image that comes to mind, right? Probably insanely buff, masculine men. People that train and study martial arts. Or maybe even just people that look crazy enough to introduce your head to some trauma. Well, what if I were to tell you that this 5'3" grandma could effortlessly drag your teeth through the pavement? What? You don't believe me? Well then just look at her.
やめてよ。
I know. Terrifying. When I started watching Frieren, I went in with absolutely zero knowledge about the show. So as I watched the first episode, I kinda thought this was gonna be a slice of life anime all about learning to appreciate the little moments in life. Learning to spend more time around the people you love instead of taking things for granted. And you know, with the powerful beginning this show offered to us, I was kind of down. Maybe it's time for a break from those high-paced action shonens and just slow down and take a little adventure. So why, do tell me, am I seeing these crazy fight scenes out of nowhere? I need to emphasize how baffled I was when this animation just kinda showed up. The whole beginning sequence of the show explained to us that the main quest to kill the Demon King was done. It was over. This is the epilogue, isn't it? The need for battle has evaporated. Who let her cook? Actually, that looks really good. You know how most people after going on a wild journey like that would want to retire? Relax, have some ramen, take a nap? But no. I guess since this girl can live until she dies. Am I dumb? This girl can live until she dies. Duh! What a true master of the English language we have here. A real prodigy, this one. I'm such a disappointment. This is why my parents separated. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that this woman can live for thousands of years, unless she's killed by an external force or something. Okay, we good, we're good. Bye. She can just kind of live however she wants. The thing is though, no one can really stop her. Take this guy for example. I kind of forgot his name, so let's just call him Jared. Jared over here is about to experience what we like to call getting bent over. He walks up to Frieren and immediately underestimates her. Oh no. He looks at her and thinks, yeah, I'm about to have no problems whatsoever. Okay, to be fair to him, earlier on that day, he saw Frieren getting arrested by a couple guards. Guards that he was easily able to body. So from his perspective, Frieren ain't anything to worry about. But something he didn't realize is that Frieren is a nice person. She wouldn't want to attack anyone that's just doing their jobs. So Jared foolishly assumes that Frieren is weaker than him and starts using his magic to choke her out. But she just starts looking at him. That is horrifying. Can you imagine choking someone up like 7 feet in the air and they're just kind of staring at you? Like, keep going. See what happens. At that point, it was GG's. Jared became Jare End. Because she Jare ended his career. Just gonna edit that one out. Can we just look at the look she gave him here? Because damn, no emotion at all. You'd assume she's done this before, which is an understatement. The amount of skeletons in Frieren's closet probably caused the closet to collapse. What the f? The amount of skeletons in Frieren's closet probably caused the closet to collapse to the floor. That was really hard to say. Can I just say that? Whoa. The thing with her though is despite how cute and chill she is throughout most of the show, when she gives you this kind of look, you know your career is pretty much over. Frieren genuinely is just an overpowered character done right, because for one, it's kind of hard to call her overpowered to begin with, because she has a reason to be this strong. She's lived for over 1,000 years studying magic, and because of that, she was 1/4 of the reason the Demon King was defeated. Her power is justified. Well, I mean, you can try your best explaining that to these two, because they've lived for a really long time too, but with their rematch with Frieren, it was embarrassing for both of them. Moral of the story is being old doesn't make you the strongest. Unless you're Frieren. Okay, maybe she's a little overpowered. Dude, this guy didn't even lose to Frieren specifically. To sum it up, he just kind of fell off. Back then, he was that guy, one of the soldiers of the Demon King, only defeated by the hero's party that also ended up beating the Demon King later on. They didn't even kill this guy, that's the thing. He was so strong, they could only seal him up. So that's the image, right? This guy was so strong, it took all 4 members of the strongest team available to beat him. But now he's awake again, and most of the party that beat him is already dead or retired. There's only really one of them left. Surely he's got this. Now, friendly reminder to you guys that this took place in episode 3, because Frieren clapped him immediately. Not only did Frieren beat this guy, but it turns out her student, who is nowhere near as old and wise as both him and Frieren are, is easily able to block his legendary attack that scared the living shit out of most people back then. Because apparently, in the time that he was sealed, his spell became known as basic offensive magic. His magic was literally called basic. Apparently anyone could do what he could now. Time made him irrelevant. To his credit, once he realized that he was basically outclassed in just a few seconds, he began to adapt and started becoming stronger in just a few seconds. So if Frieren weren't there to end him immediately, he probably would have become strong enough to be a significant threat again. At least he put up a fight though, because Aura did it. Her whole shtick is that when she faces someone, whoever has more mana would automatically be able to tell the lesser mana person to do whatever you wanted. So this girl, being one of the Demon King's 7 sages of destruction, really strong demon guys, was super confident that she'd beat Frieren, because she's faced her before, and like the other guy, it took the entire party to take her down. So she knew who Frieren was and was confident that her mana was more. Oops. Frieren really pulled a Dragon Ball Z with that one, concealing her power until it really mattered, so by this point, it was over, and Frieren just decided to end it with 2 words. Kill your... That line was going around online so much when that episode aired, which is really funny considering what that line actually was. That line is just so inspiring. It really hits me, you know? Maybe I should kill my... Frieren has done a lot more crazy things too, like when she beat and kicked an old man, caught someone that could teleport with one hand, breaking an unbreakable barrier just... Let's talk about her most insane fight, that time she beat herself. Basically, there was this clone that fought exactly like Frieren and Fern worked together to beat it. Fern was bold enough to say that she knows a way to kill Frieren, but the second they stepped in the room, she almost died to the Frieren's AoE attacks like 3 times. The plan was to exploit the fact that Fern was a really fast spellcaster, and with Frieren distracting Frieren, Fern could land a killing blow when the clone is distracted. It wasn't going so well though, because Frieren is just that good. So Frieren decides to let the clone hit her a bit so Fern could get her opening, and it actually worked. Fern finally got her hidden and just let loose, and by the end of it, the clone ended up looking like this. Turns out they won, they got it, all they needed was a bit of teamwork. What the f... With just a stare, Fern was sent flying and couldn't move. Remember, Fern is recognized as a prodigy and people are aware of just how dangerous Fern actually is. But even against a version of Frieren who just got her arms destroyed, she was still helpless.
I'm so cool.
So anyway, Frieren had to finish the job herself. Despite being a 1,000-year-old grandma, Frieren is the furthest thing from weak. You could try to put your hands up like Denkin, but you could not box this elf girl. Don't let her smallness and wholesomeness deceive you. If you ever decide to cross her, you're done. I genuinely wasn't expecting the show to have so much action in it, but damn it, it was a welcome addition. Frieren was a show I didn't expect to love as much as I did, but hey, no complaints here. The last thing I have to say is, in a fight, I could probably take her.
I'm so delusional.